From Fremd High School in Palatine, it's the 1995 Illinois High School Association Soccer Championship. And welcome in. I'm Brian Davis along with Bill Gardner. And tonight for you, we have, I think, a dandy. St. Charles and Evanston. And Billy, when you look at it, 24 years we've had this tournament. Never before tonight have we had a pair of unbeaten teams in the final.
No doubt about it, Brian. Two excellent teams from top to bottom. First of all, St. Charles ranked #1 all year, and the #2 Evanston team, so you couldn't ask for anything more even.
Coming into this game tonight, well, the last step for St. Charles, the Fighting Saints eliminated the defending champions from Palatine. For Evanston, well, their semifinal, a wild one at times. They survived, beating Quincy 1-0 in overtime, and so that is where we are tonight as we reach this final at Fremd High School. Bill, you could take a look up and down either lineup, and it is studded with stars, but you've got to isolate perhaps on each team on a single individual, and you take a look at the big guns. We got a couple of great ones here.
Well, an all-stater, Ryan Lindgren. This team here has a lot of depth, a lot of scoring, but this is the guy that leads the team with 23 goals on 64 shots, an excellent all-around player.
As far as the Evanston Wildcats, they also bring a fine player in, Brian Cucci, who 20 goals coming into this game or into this tournament.
Evanston's a little bit different. I think they're a little stronger defensively, and they have a lot of evenly balanced scoring, but this guy, Brian Cucci, he has 20 goals and leads the team.
Well, you can talk about the guys who score the goals, but you also have to take a look at the fact that these teams are shutout happy. Evanston coming in with a state record, 22 goose eggs so far this season. St. Charles not far behind with 16. We've got lots to talk about. It's a chilly night. As a matter of fact, it's downright cold here. That ought to affect the way this game is played, but it's still better than last year when we played in a quagmire. Stand by. We have got a great game coming up for you. It's the IHSA Soccer Final on Sports Channel. Just ahead of kickoff at Fremd High School, Palatine, the state soccer championship. #1 St. Charles, #2 Evanston. Bill Gardner, Brian Davis, and let's take a look at the starting lineups of these teams. Again, they are studded with individually fine players. And for the St. Charles Saints, David Collar in goal, 20 games. Bill, he's allowed only 5 goals. And one of the things that you'll look at tonight in this game, a pair of fine sophomores, the midfielder Derek Shanahan. We talked about Ryan Lindgren, their star player, but Shanahan, a sophomore with 15 goals. Mike Murphy at forward with 12 goals and 2 assists as we look at David Collar in goal for the St. Charles Saints. And for the Wildcats of Evanston, who are coached by Randy DeRoos, Paul Keenan, the head man for St. Charles. The goaltender, David Adamji, in 26 games, he has allowed 6 goals, and that is a .23 goals against average. You'll also want to take a look tonight at the James brothers, Jermaine and Van Bern. Van Bern James, little big man, you could call this guy. He's the one who scored in overtime, the game winner against Quincy, which put the Kits into tonight's final.
We saw some great games this morning, Brian, but as you said, Van Bern James in overtime threw one to the net, and we talked to Randy DeRoos, and he said, we've been telling him to shoot at the net and cross the ball all year long, and he finally did, and ended up going to the net. So big goal for them, but 2 evenly matched teams, very talented, should be an exciting game.
It definitely should. Randy DeRoos, we mentioned, is the coach of Evanston. He one time played for Granite City. 3 times he was on a state championship team at Granite City, including in 1979 when Granite City defeated the Evanston Wildcats. Here's a look at tonight's officials for this game, and we are underway. And we're taking a look at the St. Charles Saints in the home whites. And an early rush at the goal, and this is Mike Murphy. He is taken off the ball. Evanston counters. Jermaine James deep into St. Charles territory. Both these teams will take some time getting a feel for one another. And Billy, at kickoff, 25 degrees, and so that ball's probably going to feel a bit like a brick.
It certainly will, Brian. We'll get to see the talented players and how good their touch is tonight in a cold game like this. The ball definitely will sting. Who's the brave one to get their body in front of it?
Once again, St. Charles in the home whites, the Wildcats of Evanston wearing the visitors' blues. Derek Shanahan down the middle. Takes a look for Lindgren into the goaltender's box. He's taken off the ball.
Great defensive play by Roca there, coming in with a left kick, knocking it out of touch.
Mason Rocca,
is he a big man?
6'7" and 215 pounds. He also plays basketball. Gee, that's a surprise. He's been bothered by some back problems, which ended his season a year ago. Or actually didn't end it. Now the inbounds. This is Mike Miller for St. Charles. Headed away, still in the box. St. Charles controls. And now Adamji, the goaltender for Evanston, as the ball dribbles to his feet.
Brian, when we talked to Paul Keenan, he really wanted to neutralize the mid zone and own that early in the game and get off to a good start.
Now for Evanston. Chasing after it. David Cott, a reserve forward. Cott not normally a starter in Randy DeRoos's lineup. On the far side. Here's a lead pass that does not make it through to Phil Krallenbuhl, a midfielder, 5'11", 160-pound junior. And the Wildcats counter. This is Miller dancing a man for Evanston. Richie Gale, the defender that he beat. And now Ryan Lindgren sends it back to the midfield stripe, and the Saints will set up the play. To the far side and out of bounds. Evanston ball. The Wildcats actually without their best throw-in guy. Now Jabi Mabwa suffered a broken leg last night in the victory over Oak Park River Forest. He had a big assist on a winning goal in the super sectional victory at Stevenson over Libertyville a few days ago. From the far side, the ball into play, headed back out of the goal box by the Kits. And now into the middle. This is Cucci. Cucci dances one man. Looking down the far side, picked up by Jermaine James. Jermaine James trying to work around the fringe into the goalkeeper's box, and he's guarded off the ball.
Good speed by James
for St. Charles.
Good speed there by James. Ryan, that's what you want to do early in the game because of the coldness. I think you want to get that ball, throw it ahead and run into it. Try to get some runs early and get a feel for the game because of the bitterness. And the more the guys can get a little blood flowing, I'm sure that's going to help them in the long run.
Jermaine James, brother of the aforementioned Van Buren James. Jermaine playing on a bruised knee, suffered this morning against Quincy. Now a lead pass intended for Van Buren James. Taken away by Jason Franco for St. Charles, out of bounds. So the inbounds play to the Wildcats. This is Van Buren James. Looking inside the penalty area. Taken off the ball, and nicely so, and a lead pass now for Steve Wilhusen for St. Charles. Wilhusen with a dozen goals on the season, 5'4", 125 pounds. His coach Paul Keenan says that he's really of a mind to be 6'4", and he plays like it.
Definitely, gutsy player.
David Collar, the Saints goalkeeper, waiting for his mates to set up. Now he puts it into the air. Taken in midfield, but off the foot of a St. Charles player. That was Derek Winkie, 5'9", 140-pound senior midfielder. The throw into Evanston. Past Jed Malarski. The ball stays alive in the St. Charles end of the field. Shanahan out of bounds. The throw in. Van Buren James heads it high. His brother Jermaine takes a run at it. Nearly strips the defender of the ball. But now Matt Wazinger, outstanding defender for St. Charles. Wazinger, the sweeper for the Saints. And the sweeper is usually the best overall athlete on a team, and Wazinger pressed into service, had not really had a lot of experience at that position, but his coach Keenan says that he stepped in like he'd been doing it all of his life. He made the Sun Times All-Area team. He was a second-team All-Stater as voted by the Chicago Tribune. Mason Rocca into the St. Charles zone. That's Wasinger. Sends it back to the near side of the field, out of bounds.
Good little fake play there to get possession of the ball, let it go out of bounds for the throw-in.
The throw-in from John McAloon for the Wildcats. Too far from Milarski. Now McAloon keeps it alive. Playing this one against Wilhusen. He kicks it back into the Evanston end, but Mason Rocca will have it. Lead pass for Cucci, too far. Now taken by the Saints. And out of bounds as the ball is kicked off of another one of those fine sophomores we mentioned, the forward Mike Murphy.
Mike Murphy, boy, a little speedy guy, lots of finesse, never stops going. Scored a big goal this morning, Brian.
Now a stoppage in play. It was a 2-0 victory St. Charles registered again over the defending champs from Palatine. Mike Murphy, I'll tell you a story about him, folks. Last year, 37 goals on the freshman team, and the Saints were so deep he could not crack the varsity lineup.
Coach likes him, says he's a great finisher and definitely be a member of this team for a while, but a lot of talent on this team. A lot of guys that can finish. One
of 4 Evanston captains, Andrew Malk, puts it back into play for the Wildcats. Now Cucci rushing down the far side, but he can't reach the ball before it's intercepted and put back out of bounds, so Evanston retains possession. This is Rocca inside. Milarski collides with the man, and the ball out of bounds, and again it is off of St. Charles, and so the Wildcats with another chance, and every time
it's interesting to see
how
far
get a little bit deeper into the field.
Guys can throw the ball right into the box here, and everybody gets up. It's up for grabs. Here's a long throw.
Inbounds. Shanahan clears it away for the Saints. Now McAloon back into the penalty area. A run for it. James, Van Buren James, and Derek Shanahan go for it, and it will be a corner kick for the Wildcats as the ball heads outside the end line. Woody's just kicking it. I'll tell you what, these fans here, we saw a shot of these well-bundled folk a little while ago. Cold. Low kick intended for Milarski. He pushes into Matt Wasinger, and so the Saints will bring it back the other way. But again, 25 degrees or thereabouts at kickoff. It is a cloudless night, so that makes it even colder. These guys are out here in shorts. Down the right wing. That's Krallenbuhl for the Saints inside to Wilhusen, centering. Mike Miller can't get the good leg on it. Now Lindgren with an opportunity. He's taken off the ball. And out of bounds, it'll be a corner kick for St. Charles.
Well, a couple of defensive lapses, a few mistakes kicking the ball. Gave St. Charles a couple opportunities there, but they just couldn't get it, and deflection off the defender, and it's going to be a corner kick.
Now let's take a look at the way that play went down as the Saints get ready to bring it in.
Here's the crossover. Watch the defender miss the ball there. And a good attempt here, little stutter step, going to the left foot. And
now the ball into play, scramble forward in front, back out near the end line. And another corner kick for St. Charles. Steve Wilhusen will leg it in as they jam the goalkeeper's box. And now in again, a header, and off the defense and a whistle. Dangerous play, a push.
Push. Nice cross though, right into the middle of the box. Maybe a little too close to the net for anybody to head it in. It's a little push off there, you can't do that. Otherwise it'd been a great opportunity, a good swing corner kick.
The Wildcats goalkeeper David Adamji, again 26 games, 6 goals against, 21 shutouts. He dodged a bullet in the semifinal this morning. Quincy's Donovan Bradshaw, who had 45 goals on the season. Bradshaw had him down and out and hit the crossbar.
We talked to him and he said he did everything he could. He tried to get the shooter to shoot it, and he did, and he hit the crossbar. He said he just wanted to get the angle on him, and he did that.
Shanahan looking for Lindgren. Jed Milarski beats him to it, kicks it out, so another throw in for the St. Charles Saints. And we'll reset again. This is Phil Krallenbuhl. Gives way to Mike Miller. Miller with the throw in. Headed away, and nicely so by Jeff Ward for Evanston. Now the play still alive just in front of the penalty area. And back to midfield. Long pass intended for Van Buren James. And now Brian Cucci comes into the play, but a whistle. And Evanston will get a kick off the push.
Getting to an area where it's a little more dangerous. Try to open up the defenders a little bit and get a nice pass through the middle here.
Andrew Mauck takes a look, sizes it up, punches it in, straight on, slightly to the far side. Now the header, and a save by David Collar for St. Charles.
Here's the free kick. Coming through the middle, great play. Nice header out, and a nice header back in. I think offside was called there on Brian Cucci, but a good save by the goaltender.
Cucci was right in. Van Buren James a blur as he headed that ball toward Collar in the St. Charles goal. Now the Saints counter. This is Ryan Lindgren. Lindgren's lead pass intercepted, intended for Wilhusen. Back out to center. Derek Winke has for the Saints. The ball turned over. Jermaine James starts the rush, and then he's taken off the ball. The Wildcats will get a throw in at just shy of midfield. Cucci headed for the corner. And out of bounds. St. Charles will bring it the other way. 26 minutes and change, about 27 minutes left in the first half here. It is a scoreless game. Again, you are watching the Illinois High School Association Soccer Championship game. St. Charles 27-0-1. Evanston 24-0-4. The first time in 24 years that two unbeaten teams have met in the final. Bill Gardner, you say, hey, Guardsy, he's a Blackhawk. He's a hockey player. Well, he's also a darn fine soccer player growing up around Toronto. And now a whistle and a foul call.
Foul on the big guy, Roca. It's amazing to see a man that big. And you watch, anytime they get up close to the offensive zone, he'll run in there for the header, and because he's so much bigger than everybody else.
Just outside the penalty area, kicked away by St. Charles. Lindgren beaten to the ball by Rocca. Now for the Kits. That was McAloon, but back comes St. Charles. Lindgren waiting for help. Shanahan to the right wing. Crosses over, intending for Murphy. Nice steal by Jeff Ward for Evanston. Long cross intended for the freshman Richie Gale, but too far. And now a man taken down on the far side. St. Charles will throw it in. Richie Gale, we talked about the fine sophomore contingent that St. Charles brings to the table. Richie Gale is a freshman. Mike Miller for Evanston, a sophomore. So they've got some youth as well. Jed Malarski is a junior. They've got a core of younger players that can grow into the leadership roles that'll be vacated by several members. And we say they have 4 captains on this team, this Evanston team. But you got to keep building. You got to leave something in there for the foundation. Now a chase. Jermaine James beaten to the ball by Wassinger.
Brian, both programs are very deep, and Paul Keenan was telling us in St. Charles there's only 3 losses throughout their whole program, going all the way junior, varsity, and so on. So that's a pretty good organization they have going there at St. Charles.
Paul Keenan is in his 5th year at St. Charles. 115 wins, 12 losses, 1 tie. Shanahan kicks it high. Now Wilhusen off the turnover. And into the act jumps Shanahan. Shanahan dances his man. That's Andrew Mauck. Winke to the near side, and Lindgren. Soft feed, and he gets it back. He fires wide.
Beautiful shot. Perfect area to shoot from. Had lots of time. Good left foot. Just over to the bar to the right post.
Your basic defensive zone turnover.
Great interception here. Lindgren drills a left footer, curls just by the post and bar. An excellent opportunity.
And play resumes. Good charge by Mike Miller across midfield. But St. Charles regains control. This is Malarski high in the air. He goes down in a heap after that collision. Lindgren again on the far side. Leading too far is teammate Phil Cronbuhl. Cronbuhl waiting for help. Cucci the defender. Shanahan to the right wing. Now a give and go for Cronbuhl. Into the penalty area. Steve Wilhusen just a couple of steps too shy. Adamji has, and Evanston will bring it back out.
Some nice touch passes by St. Charles. They're spraying the field out, playing it very well from left to right.
Shanahan, Wilhusen, taken off the ball by John McAloon. No serious threat there as Adamji picks it up, and he'll start the play again for the Wildcats. Now Cucci takes it away as Shanahan tries to take it out. Cucci racing down left wing. Centering. Too far for Richie Gale. Malarski chases it into the far corner. The Wildcats reset. Cross. Nobody home. Collar has it easily for St. Charles.
Good try by Cucci going across the field to the far post. Something they want to do a lot. They want to spread the field out a little bit on that offensive zone and go to the far post and have someone come in for the header.
Cucci has got great speed. He can also, at 5'11", dunk a basketball. He's one of these guys, you know, a lot of athletes at this level play basketball or baseball or whatever else. Cucci, this is all he does, is play soccer.
We are first in the head. This is do or die, bro.
And he is their leading scorer. He is also their hero. He tied the super sectional final on a penalty kick and then won the game on a goal with 50 seconds left in the second overtime.
Wait.
Now the ball in play. Long feed from Wassinger. Misses its mark, and a pushing call against the Saints. Evanston comes back.
A lot of little pushing fouls, but you're going to get that, I think, early in the game, so the guys feel each other out, get a little bit warmer, get used to the atmosphere. Big game for both teams.
Talking about Cucci, as Evanston goaltender David Adamji gets ready to start the play again. Cucci, and also, is that Cucci without his shoe? Some kind of an equipment adjustment. Oh, glove. Okay. Cucci also, in the quarterfinal game against Oak Park River Forest, broke a scoreless tie with a goal 20 minutes into the second half last night. Now down the right wing. This is Murphy for St. Charles. Crossing. Call it a shot. Adamji kicks it up over the crossbar and out of play.
Very nice, Murphy there. Good little run across the middle of the field down to the right wing, and a great cross.
We've got just under 20 minutes left in the first half. A scoreless tie. Evanston and St. Charles. It's the IHSA soccer final on Sports Channel. Brian Draw brings it into play off the corner kick for the Saints. It's blocked, and now an offside call. And so Evanston gets the indirect kick. Brian Draub, another member of this heavily senior St. Charles squad. He had one of the 3 goals, a 3-0 shutout of Naperville North. With Bill Gardner, I'm Brian Davis. And this is exactly what you would have expected against two teams, or between two teams, Bill, who can really fill it up, but again, are hallmarked by defense. Now a steal. Murphy to Wilhusen. Crossing pass is stolen and kicked away by Mason Rocca.
Throw in for the Saints.
The throw in to Drob. Shanahan leads Drob down the far side. He's in. Centering pass behind Wilhusen. Picked up by Kronbuhl. He puts it toward net. Adamji picks it up for Evanston. Had the man in, Bill, but it was a matter of a pass just missing its mark. Otherwise, Wilhusen would have had an outstanding opportunity for a good shot.
Would have been all alone. A good play defensively by goaltender.
Throw in for the Saints.
Now to the far side, Mike Murphy. 5'6", 135 pounds. He can fly. Looking for Wilhusen. He's taken off the ball by McAloon, but back to Lindgren. Ryan Lindgren toward the corner for Murphy. Guarded there by Jeff Ward, out of bounds. St. Charles will throw it in.
Number 17, David Cott, into the lineup for the Saints.
A substitution now as Nick Geiken and David Cott come on for the Saints in place of Murphy and Wilhusen. The throw in by Brian Drob. To Lindgren, back to Drob. Breaks to the corner of the penalty area, taken away by Van Buren James. Long lead. And David Cott was charging, but Adamji there before him. He puts it into the air. Malarski, too far for him, not far enough for the freshman Gale. Back come the Saints. Kronbuhl taken off the ball momentarily. Now he dances a man, that's Cucci. Malarski comes over to help. Long lead pass. That for Cott, he saves it. And then he's tackled off the ball by John McAloon of Evanston. And here it comes. Cucci gets to it first. Van Buren James gives chase. Jason Franco for the Saints. Cucci takes a look. Long lead for Richie Gale. Wassinger has for St. Charles. Back to midfield. Derek Shanahan doing the great circle route. Lead pass, nobody home. Jeff Ward has for Evanston. Now, Malarski taken down, and so a kick for the Wildcats. Andy Malk. Far side. Cucci. There's Mike Miller. Evanston still in control at midfield. McAloon. Saints have outshot the Wildcats 4-1 here as we get inside 14 minutes remaining in a still scoreless first half. Now a substitution for the Wildcats. Mike Miller goes out. Mark Whitman, 5'7", 140-pound senior midfielder, takes his place. We saw a good bit of Whitman in this morning's semifinal, the victory over Quincy.
4-1, Brian, I think is an indication of St. Charles. They've had the ball down in Evanston's end most of the time. Not a bad couple of chances.
Well, these guys can spend all the energy they want willing their boys on. Well, what the heck,
They gotta
Billy?
keep warm.
Exactly right. Pushing foul against Evanston. So the Saints bring it into play. This is Wasinger. Tackled off the ball. Rocca. Van Buren James contest. Evanston gets the throw in. Jason Franco. Thought it was his. Oop. The ball between Franco and Matt Wasinger. Long lead pass for Lindgren. He goes down looking for a foul, doesn't get it. Thought McAloon had done him dirty. The Wild kids control. Ward feeds Jermaine James. Beaten to the ball by Wasinger, and that's where the sweeper comes in. He's
Definitely.
the guy, the three defenders play the center and the flank, and then the sweeper, Wasinger, like the free safety in football, and he did his job nicely there.
Plays behind everybody else, goes either side of the field, he's the last line of defense, really, before the goaltender.
Van Buren James standing right about the place from which he scored the winning goal this morning against Quincy. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Ball taken out of the penalty area. And Evanston, is that Miller? Long shot, deflected by Collar. Just got the hand on it.
Great save, a good shot too. Almost beat the goalie, but an outstretched collar just tipped it to the right side of his post. An excellent play by him, but a very nice shot by Miller.
Mike Miller with but a goal and an assist on the season, but he nearly came up big there. Here it is.
Oh, good tackle there. Little chip shot, trying to go over top of the goalie, who's out a little bit, but a great left-handed deflection to the right side of the net. Very nice save by Collar.
Now Miller. Picked by David Cott. Back to Cronbuhl. Down the right wing. Taken down by Van Buren Allen. And St. Charles will kick it from that point on. Here's how it went down, Billy.
Well, as we see here, he comes in behind the player, taking the feet out, and the referee did come up to him and give him a word. No yellow card, though. And we're going to see a free kick here, sweep across into the box. And here's the fouls. Evanston with 8, St. Charles with 6.
Long feed. Adamji comes up big. The ball is loose. And it's kicked to safety. That was Andy Mauch coming up after Adamji lost control of the ball.
Adamji didn't squeeze it tight enough, dropped down, but great defensive play. Sweeping the ball out to actually the offensive guy's got a good kick. It ends up being a goal kick, but a great play, good shot across for the free kick. And Adamji didn't grab it the way he should have. Ends up being loose, and St. Charles kicks it out of bounds.
You suppose the temperature might have had something to do with that?
I'm sure he's got some gloves on with Scotch tape on the ends.
Let's take a fast look at the stats here as we get inside. Well, 9.5 minutes now in the first half. Evanston and St. Charles are scoreless. Call that 5 shots now for the Saints. They've outshot the Kits 5-2. Corner kicks against St. Charles, the advantage 2-1. Both sides whistled offside once. Now a stoppage in play. Some time added to the clock there on orders of the referee. Again, 5-2, St. Charles with the shooting advantage. Adamji, Ward, Van Buren Allen. All 5'6" of him, 135 pounds. That goal he scored this morning, Bill, he got a little help from the weather.
Oh, yeah.
He kicked that thing, a high arcing kick from the near side. if we were looking at it from this camera vantage now. And it just arched to the far upper corner of the goal. The Quincy goalkeeper kept going back and back and back, and then a problem with communication. He collided with one of his defenders, and the ball seemed to pinball between them and into the net, and Evanston's in the final because of it.
Well, it rode the wind. There's no doubt about it. It was going left to right, and it wasn't a gust. It was that way the whole game. It sort of hung up there. It was a perfect shot, perfectly placed, just under the crossbar against the post. But as you said, the defender was on the line playing his position. The goalie was backtracking and ended up running into him and could not get up for the ball.
Allen sets up defensively. Now goes back closer to his own goal as Matt Wasinger, standout defender for the Saints, prepares to put it in play. He actually admitted, James did, that he was trying to cross it. It wasn't really meant to be a shot. But you know, it's that old thing, Bill, about you'd rather be lucky than good sometimes.
Well, you put it to the net. You never know what's going to happen, and that's what he did. Not a bad play, especially in overtime.
With Bill Gardner, I'm Brian Davis. Welcome in. This has been more or less the kind of game we would have expected. There have been some fun moments, some exciting moments, depending on the side that you take in this one. There have been some frightening moments. The better opportunities for St. Charles to this point, although Evanston on the shot a little while ago by Miller raised a few eyebrows here at Fremd High School, where there is a, well, not as big a crowd, but an enthusiastic one nonetheless. Chilly temperatures have probably factored in a lower than what you would have expected turnout for a fine game between two fine teams. Bob Akers, Steve Wilhusen back in for St. Charles. Also Mike Murphy. Bob Akers, the reserve midfielder, getting his first action to this contest. Now Shanahan beats Jermaine James. Now to the far side and a crossing pass intended for Akers. He runs back to retrieve it. He's being marked by Brian Cucci. Derek Winkie. Out of bounds, Evanston ball.
Look at these guys. They got to do this to keep warm, but boy, are they loud tonight, and the camera's on them, and they know it.
You wearing your Woolies, by the way?
I certainly am.
Good for you.
I know you are.
Oh, I guarantee you. My mama didn't raise no fool. Here's Cucci. Being marked by Winkie. Peter Bellin, another veteran defender for St. Charles. We have not talked about Peter Bellin. He is an outstanding player. Not the most gifted guy in the world, but he has made the most of what he's got. As Evanston tries to work it in. Outside the penalty area, long feed. This is Murphy. Murphy on the chase. Andy Malk will get there first. Peter Bellin, though, is a guy who was actually assigned this morning in the semifinal, Bill, to mark Mike Huber, Palatine star player, the guy who scored 30 goals. So you talk about a guy who may not have the tools, at least what he was born with, but you make that up with attitude, you make that up with heart, and you make that up in the end with achievement.
Definitely a hard worker, very strong on the ball, and had a great game this morning. Coach was very proud of him and said that he would probably do the same tonight, as we have a little injury, a yellow card.
Now we got a yellow card. A man is down. And let's take a look again.
Here we see the replay. Good control.
That's Derek Winkie
hard
down.
Tackle in there. Took the legs out. He's got a yellow card.
Yellow card given to number 21, Mason Roca of the Wildcats.
Mason Roca.
The big guy.
Yellow carded. Wasinger will set it up and put it in play for the Saints. High arcing pass headed away by Roca. Back to retrieve. That's Drob for St. Charles. Far side, Bellin. Now Van Buren Allen ahead to his brother Jermaine. Jermaine in a foot race with Bellin. And a whistle. Handball.
Principals from St. Charles High School and Evanston High School report to the
Jermaine James and his brother Van Buren moved here at the end of last soccer season from Jamaica. They have been a very nice find.
They certainly have.
For Randy DeRouse. Now Richie Gale misheads that ball. His mate John McAloon comes and picks it up and kicks it out of bounds. Mason Rocca will spend a little time cooling off and then come back in. Lindgren crossing. Winky takes a look, fires, and scores! St. Charles takes a 1-0 lead. A great feed from Lindgren. And Winky made no mistake beating Adamji to Adamji's right side.
An excellent shot, but a little bit of a deflection by the defender made the goalie have to sprawl a little bit further. Could not reach the ball, but a great area to shoot from. A good, solid strike.
And St. Charles traps first blood.
Great trap. Look at the, just opened up for him. A little deflection there by the defender and into the corner of the net. But the alley opened up and he could just walk into the top of the box. Beautiful shot.
McAloon, the defender, may have screened his goaltender Adamji on that one by kicking out that leg. Billy, from your experience in hockey, you know sometimes the best thing to do is just do the flamingo. Stand up and let the goalkeeper see it as best he can, as far as he can.
Right, unless he thought he really could have stopped the ball, but deflecting it really hurts the goaltender because he's got to go that much further in these big nets.
Now the Wildcats in the hole. This is only about the 5th time all season that they have trailed in a game. Of course, the Saints have only trailed twice.
Not bad records.
And the play carried by Wilhusen. Tries to feed Murphy. Clearing attempt fails. And now McAloon with Lindbergh charging. Takes it away, eludes one tackle. Brings it halfway back to the midfield stripe. Winky again. Ahead to Lindgren, he's in, he fires, and goal!
What a beautiful heel pass to put Lindgren in all alone. Great speed.
Ryan Lindgren from Steve Wilhusen, and St. Charles has struck like lightning. 3 minutes left in the first half, and the Saints with a 2-0 lead.
Well, this is Lindgren going in, using his speed. Very nice chip in the corner, but a great heel pass by Wilhusen, first of all, to tap it by the defenders coming out to him, and a great run there into the goal crease by Lindgren, scoring a beautiful goal, hammering it home.
Ryan Lindgren is a guy that you could call the igniter. He had the hat trick in a 7-2 rout of Wabansie Valley in the Willowbrook sectional. He also was the guy who scored the equalizer in the only tie that St. Charles had this year against St. Viator.
Well, not the start that Evanston wanted. I know they wanted to keep it tight in the first half and see what happened in the second, but this is the kind of start that St. Charles definitely wanted. This morning we saw them get out to a 2-0 lead and just sit back. Probably could have made it a lot more in the first half. They got to be happy with this 2-0 lead here in the first.
Well, Willie Fillion, the coach from Palatine High School, the defending state champions, eliminated this morning in the semi by St. Charles. His quote, "If you're down 2-0, meaning to the Saints, it's a long way back."
Uphill. Don't like playing uphill in soccer.
Just about to the 2-minute mark. Time left in the first half. St. Charles with the 2-0 lead.
Brian St. Charles
and on the attack,
controlling the ball so much better, making small, short passes, keeping control, and that's the name of the game.
Shanahan leads Wilhusen to the edge of the penalty area. Now crosses back. This is Shanahan. Fires. Partially deflected wide.
Another corner kick for St. Charles. Little deflection by the defender.
Check out Sports Channel every night at 10. Steve Wilhusen had the big assist a couple of minutes ago on Lindgren's goal.
Just going to say, Brian, brilliant pass he made there. He was actually going the opposite way of the offensive zone. Little flick pass by the heel.
Now a high arcing pass, the header attempt.
Dangerous kick.
Broken up.
Trying the old scissor kick there in the box, Pele style.
Now let's take a look at corner kicks. The advantage to the Saints, 3-1. Brian Traub was the intended. He was going to get his head on that ball on the kick from Will Hughes and couldn't quite get there. Mason Rocca has for Evanston. Jed Malarski, as we're inside the final minute now. First half, St. Charles with a 2-0 lead. Murphy has a little trouble handling it. Malarski knocks him down, takes it back into the attack zone for the Wildcats. And then countered by Draub. Lindgren dances a man, nice move. Now the cross, looking for Murphy. The shot and the save by Adamji.
Another great opportunity, though, by St. Charles, moving the ball across the field. A lot of open forwards.
Time winding down in the first half, but St. Charles has done the damage with a pair of quick goals for a 2-0 lead over Evanston. If you're Brian DeRoos or Randy DeRoos,
Yes.
the coach from Evanston, what do you tell your guys at the half, Bill Gardner?
Well, I think they have to regroup a little bit and start trying to control the ball instead of just throwing it down the field. I think obviously St. Charles is playing a little bit better of a game, controlling the ball, making short, quick passes and running with the ball. I think you have to look at Evanston to try and do the same thing, try to get control, get some more offensive chances, and maybe need a quick one right away in the second half to get a start.
There's Lindgren leading his team off the field, or actually trailing his team, and you can tell in the way they're moving right now, Billy. St. Charles sprinting off the field, trotting, and then down at the other end, the Evanston Wildcats just trudging.
They got to be a little bit disappointed in the start because Evanston knows that they didn't want to get. They knew they didn't want to get behind, and they definitely did early. And it's going to be tough, tough road uphill in the second half.
Saints 2, Kits 0. With Bill Gardner, I'm Brian Davis. The IHSA Soccer Championship game continues momentarily on Sports Channel. Halftime of the state soccer championship between St. Charles and Evanston. Welcome back to Fremd High School. I'm Brian Davis, visiting for a moment with Marty Hickman, the Assistant Executive Director of the Illinois High School Association. And Marty, for the first time in history, 2 undefeated teams here in this final. But will this also be perhaps the last time in history that we see a single champion?
Well,
what of this discussion about single A and double A and going to a split championship format?
Well, Brian, for years we've had some discussion about whether or not we have more than one class in soccer, and it's kind of come to be that the question is really going to be out in front of the schools, and they're going to have an opportunity to react to it, and we may see next year 2 classes in soccer.
Well, what are some of the advantages? If you could tell us about some of the pros and cons that are involved. Why would you do this?
Well, quickly, there have been a number of schools over the years that, for equity reasons, feel that 2 classes would be a better situation for them. The smaller schools that really don't feel they can compete with the Naperville Norths, the Evanstons, the school of 2,500 or bigger, they don't really think they can compete as fairly, and so they're looking for equity, really.
Would this be almost a baseball kind of situation where, hey, we saw the interest that going to 3 divisions in the wild card in the major leagues generated in baseball this year?
Right.
Could this be the same kind of thing?
Yeah, it could be. I think what you could see is, and we have it in lots of other sports, so it's not unique. So I think you could see the smaller schools really generate some interest, pick up some enthusiasm behind a small school tournament, and I think it could be good for the sport.
Well, we'll see how it shakes out. Marty
All right,
Hickman,
Brian.
thanks very much.
Thank you.
I'm Brian Davis. Bill Gardner and I will be back momentarily at Fremd High School in Palatine to set you up for the second half of the final between the Wildcats and the St. Charles Saints. Getting ready to begin the second half of the title game. St. Charles leads Evanston 2-0. Bill Gardner, Brian Davis, and Billy, if you look at it as a matter of winning certain key areas, in this case, Lindgren against the Evanston markers, Cucci against the St. Charles markers, and whose midfielders have made the bigger plays, it's totally advantaged St. Charles, and that's reflected in the stats. 8-2, the Saints with the advantage in shots, 3-1 on corner kicks. Evanston has committed more fouls, 12 to St. Charles 8. St. Charles is 8, and offside, 1-0.
Well, there's no doubt about it, Brian. As we're going to see the second goal here, beautiful play. Good cross through the middle. Good heel kick pass there. One-time touch. And Lindgren goes in with good speed and great kick into the corner of the net. But as you said, Paul Keenan wanted to close the midfield down. I think they have. They've controlled that and made some great one-touch passes. We see Lindgren. We talked about him in the opening. In All-State, 23 goals this year and an excellent game so far. He's controlled the game whenever he's had the ball.
Ryan Lindgren from St. Charles's version of little big man Steve Wilhusen with, well, I'll tell you, the Saints with 2 goals, Billy, as you see in a minute 8 seconds. Derek Winkie from Bob Akers for the 1-0 lead, and then Lindgren from Wilhusen, that dandy one-time pass as we get ready to start the second half. Evanston has got a long way to come. 40 minutes left in the 1995 soccer season. We'll bring it to you momentarily on Sports Channel. St. Charles has carried the play, Bill, as we indicated, pretty much in every phase, and it seemed as if the Saints got stronger as the first half went on.
Well, they certainly did. Looks like they're a more experienced team. As we said, they have controlled the midfield. They're controlling the ball at all times. I think it's the initiative to try to get this ball and move it around a little bit and take it to St. Charles, which they really haven't done. They had a couple opportunities, and as we talked to Randy DeRoos, he said they're not going to get a lot of opportunities, and when they did get a few, they had to put it in the net, and they didn't do that.
Again, Evanston in the visitors' blue, St. Charles in white. Evanston now moving from your left to your right on the screen. David Collar in the nets for St. Charles. David Adamji for the Evanston Wildcats, and we are underway. Broadcast rights for the Illinois High School Association Soccer Championships have been granted to Sports Channel by the IHSA. Any reproduction or rebroadcast of this event without the express written consent of Sports Channel and the IHSA is verboten. Means you can't do that. It's prohibited. At midfield. Some back and forth as these sides get their game legs back under them. Brian Cucci has been marked well by St. Charles. Long lead pass for Van Buren James. He's knocked down. Ball goes out of bounds, and the Wildcats will throw it in. Rocca back to James. Centers, headed away. But the Wildcats control on the far side. Here's a steal by Winkie. Long lead pass to Mike Murphy. Can't settle it down, waits for help. He's going to be beaten to the ball, will Brian Drobby, by Mark Whitman for the Wildcats.
Brian, every time we've seen Evanston get down the field and have an opportunity on a throw-in or a free kick deep, they haven't kept control of the ball. Sloppy passes across, and St. Charles defenders are there to kick it up the field.
Here's the throw-in by Drob. Now Mike Miller for Evanston. Can't get the head cleanly onto the ball. Out of bounds. St. Charles moves that much closer to the Evanston goal and will bring it into play. Drob to Lindgren. Back to Drob. Now an attempt to sneak it through to Wilhusen. Ball is stolen. Back to midfield we come. Jermaine James to Whitman.
Some good little passes, though. It's exactly what they got to do to move up the field. Short passes and move up.
Look how tightly Peter Bellin is marking Jermaine James there, and again, out of bounds Evanston ball. Rocca gets around one man, but he is tied up, tackled, and Matt Wassinger sends it the other way for St. Charles.
Brian said it about defensively. Every time you see the ball moved into the offensive zone for Evanston, it looks like there's always 2 white shirts to 1 blue.
Now Whitman tries to put it toward the St. Charles goal. He's taken off the play, but the Wildcats regain momentarily control and do so again. They were drinking hot chocolate at halftime, Billy Gardner, as if it was going out of style. One of the things that's interesting, I think, about the way this thing has played, again, a cold field. We'll hold off on this, is Lindgren with the shot wide to the left. as he crept into the penalty area. One of the things that's interesting is that the pace and the flow that St. Charles has been able to establish here on what is a rough field.
It really is a rough field.
It's pitted, it's patched.
Yes, it is. But the grass is thin, gives them a little bit better traction. This morning we saw a little bit sloppier field, guys losing their footing. They haven't had a lot of that so far in this game. And as I said, short grass, it's playing into the hands of St. Charles, a quick team.
Rocca to Malarski. Leads Cucci. Dances one man. Nice steal on the far side. That was Jason Franco for St. Charles. Now the ball out of bounds. The throw into Brian Drob. Cucci, lead pass for Van Buren. No, sorry, check that. His brother, Jermaine James. And that's something that we've noticed here through the first half and now first 5 minutes of the second half, Bill, that the Wildcats have tied their fortunes mainly to the abilities of the James brothers to break down on the wings.
Well, they have good speed, but they haven't utilized them as much as they probably would have liked to. These guys have some good runs and they can put them together, but they got to get the ball to them. And that comes from not having the midfield, having St. Charles own the midfield so far.
Now the ball is cleared away from the penalty area. Rocca to Cucci as the Wildcats counter, and the shot seemed to give David Collar a little bit of trouble, may have knuckled. Of course, when the thing makes contact, that hard ball in those cold frozen hands, that also could give you a little bit of trouble. But he corrals it and back come the Saints.
I like the fact that they're trying to shoot the ball now. Cucci, a great play, turn around with his right foot, put a little hook into it, give the goaltender a little bit of a trouble, but they got to do that more. Get some opportunities, shoot the ball whenever they're outside that box.
Peter Bellin for the Saints to Lindgren. Ahead tries Murphy, collides with a man and goes down. That's McAloon from Evanston. Nine to 3 now, shots on goal, so the Wildcats and the Saints each with one. This is Shanahan. Shanahan dances a man, centering pass, doesn't get through. Mark Whitman has for Evanston, but out of bounds. St. Charles will bring it back into play.
Just looks, Brian, whenever St. Charles has the ball, they're much more dangerous. Anytime they get into the box area, it looks like they've always got a good chance of having something happen.
Here is Drob for Lindbergh. Now the ball kicked back.
A little miscue
by David Adamchi.
A little chalk in his shoe there.
Well, I'm telling you what, you hope that was a design play, but I'm not so sure that it was. In the end, no harm. Booming kick by Adamchi. Cucci. Nice bounce. Nice control of the ball. But now back the other way for St. Charles. Evanston defender falls down. Will Husen, though, can't control. Shanahan on the right side, crossing, and taken by Evanston. Cucci approaching midfield, one-on-one with Winky. Down the left wing. Lead pass for Van Buren James. He stops, dances a man, feeds back. Cucci a step too late.
Can't let those opportunities go.
Phil Cronbuhl intercepts for the Saints.
A little more patient maybe on the offense. When they get a chance, they got to control it more.
And now the charge. Mauk takes a man off the play for Evanston, and the Wildcats will get the throw in. Wildcats mentioned this a while ago. Their coach, Randy DeRoos, is in his third year. 64 wins, 6 losses, 8 ties. 3 times he played for a Granite City state champion that in 1979 beat Evanston in one of its 3 previous trips to this final game. So DeRoos tutored under Gene Baker, who's got himself a bag full of trophies at Granite City. He's got some good winning soccer in his background. Played collegiately at Eastern Illinois. As Rocca brings it up for the kids. Now a lead pass and taken away by a drop. Ball is loose in front of the penalty area. Kick to safety by Wassinger. As Malarski and Jermaine James had a shot to take that ball in deep on St. Charles, the Saints managed to break up the play.
Ooh, it's chilly. Everybody's got the blankets out on those steel seats. Keep everything warm.
Killing off one more hot chocolate now. Now here's a foot race. Murphy beaten to it by Malk.
Lackadaisical play by the goaltender there.
Now a crossing pass far side, that's Lindgren. Lindgren dancing Jeff Ward. And now the feed back to Shanahan. Shanahan around Cucci on the right side into the penalty area. Malk kicks it out and it will be a corner kick for St. Charles.
Definitely. Good speed by Shanahan going around the defender, trying to cross it over. Just didn't get it in the air enough, but they'll take a lot of these corner kicks. Slow the clock down a little bit and get some good chances.
4-1 now. St. Charles with the advantage in corners. 10 minutes gone and change in the second half. St. Charles leads Evanston 2-0. Now a shot. Adamji gets a hand on that. Now the header, that by Murphy, taken by Adamji. Evanston will control, but a good opportunity. Some pressure nicely put by St. Charles.
Well, there's the corner kick. Not a long one, just a short little pass. Good control, but an excellent save, and the ball still in the air. A good header in, and a great save by Adamji to hold on to that ball. Another good advantage. Not a long corner kicks, just good control. Ends up being a couple of good shots.
Drob and Bellin getting into the act there. As Evanston comes back the other way. Now into traffic, David Collar. The St. Charles goalkeeper controls. We've got some substitutions now. Bob Akers and David Cott coming in for the Saints. Will Husen and Lindgren will take a breather. That gives you an idea who's ahead in this game.
They have good depth, there's no doubt about it. Those two guys can put the ball in the net also, so try to get everyone in there. It's been a cold night. Good crowd tonight.
I'm surprised that they're not jumping up and down more. Guarantee you, if we were out of doors, Bill, I'm
sure they'd rather be out in the field running around.
St. Charles ball, Winky, ahead to Murphy. Now Cott in a scramble, loses the ball out of bounds.
Free
Evanston
kick.
ball. Direct kick.
A little trip there.
You'll forgive us sometimes to the far side of the field. It's very difficult for us to see the out of bounds line. And if we didn't have that excuse, we'd make up another. He's Bill Gardner, I'm Brian Davis. 2-0 St. Charles. Now well into the second half here at Fremd High School in Palatine.
Time for Evanston to move a few more people up and try to get some advantages here. They haven't had a lot of opportunities inside the box. There's a throw-in that's going to be probably taken in around the 6-yard mark, and you want to move up here to try to outman the other team, get a couple opportunities.
Van Burn Allen gets it back after St. Charles gets the noggin on it. Now a crossing pass. This is Cucci, beaten to the ball. Long feet ahead, Cott. Now look at Drob storming in behind the play. Lead pass for Murphy. Adamji gets to it, doesn't hold on to it. A shot and it hits the side of the net. Murphy had the goal all to himself, but he was going down as well and misses wide right.
Murphy with great speed, but a great ball through there by Cott. Murphy onto it. Goaltender comes out, does not control it. Murphy gets control and throws it to the net, but it hits the side of the net. An excellent golden opportunity for Murphy. Usually a great finisher with using his speed there.
Mike Murphy playing in the estimation of his coach Paul Keenan, not just because he has an Irish surname. He's a striker and a half, and you'll look for more from this young guy because he is only a sophomore. Paul Keenan, hailing from Northern Ireland, had an uncle that played for the Irish national team and then for Chelsea, I believe it was, in the English Division I. So
quite a character.
You want to talk about bloodlines and genes. Now this is Jermaine James. Crossing. And now out of danger. Matt Wasinger gets the leg on it as Evanston puts some pressure on David Collar in the St. Charles goal.
Evanston just cannot get the ball through. The St. Charles defense just collapses on the ball and outmans Evanston. They cleared every time.
Murphy out. Nick Geiken is in the lineup now. Senior midfielder taking the sophomore Murphy's place. But both of these teams, you talk about Keenan's Irish roots, and again, DeRoos and the resume he has. Hey, if you have a coach who has got that kind of a pedigree, it really gives you, it's not the sole determinant, obviously, Bill, but if you've got that pedigree, you're going to have a group of kids that, by and large, plays a little bit better soccer.
Well, I think they believe in their coach when they know that they've both played and understand the game so well, and obviously good teachers throughout their programs. And when you have someone that you can look up to, it helps you tremendously.
Drobb's throw, intercepted by Rocco. Wasinger now has just short of midfield for St. Charles. Long lead pass intended for Kronbuhl. And now a turnover by Rocca. This is Drobb. Wasinger at midfield. Lead pass intercepted by Whitman, but now taken away by Kronbuhl. As the teams trade turnovers. And some conversation about who did what dirty to whom.
The clock keeps ticking.
Peter Bellin complaining to the referee as the Saints take possession inside 24 minutes now, second half. This is Drobb crossing. Call it a shot as it Domji gets his mitts on it for the Wildcats.
St. Charles likes to use the wings and have those crosses, try to move up for the headers, but a good play by Domji, getting out and grabbing on the ball and getting control of it.
And Bellin again beats Jermaine James. We talked about the role the midfielders play in winning two of those three key areas that generally exist in a given soccer game.
Right.
And one of the things that St. Charles has really done, attacking with the numbers, getting their midfielders forward. Again, we talked about the James brothers. Now a long lead pass. This is caught. Fires with the left foot. Tipped just wide to Adamji, and a goal! As Adamji fails to control. It didn't have much steam on it as it crossed the goal line. But with just under 23 minutes left, second half, St. Charles leads by a score of 3-0 on the dribbler by David Cott.
A lot of topspin on that ball. It was bouncing, couldn't be handled by the goaltender, but I was just going to say, mistakes are adding up for Evanston. You see the topspin on that ball, going over Adamji's arms, outstretched arms, and into the net. The mistakes are definitely adding up defensively for Evanston. And St. Charles are making very few and controlling the action. One or two breaks here or there, and they're getting some great opportunities, and not the other way, though, for Evanston.
The assist to the senior midfielder, Nick Geiken. Jed Malarski was in the neighborhood for Evanston, also trailing on the play. Andy Mauk, one of the four senior captains on this club. And now St. Charles with a commanding lead, and the time winding down. Into the goal box, ball is tipped out. Now the rebound, Van Buren James can't get his foot on it. To the far side, taken away by Shanahan for St. Charles.
Great positioning again, though, by St. Charles. Getting back, a good cross. Goalie couldn't handle it, but the defense were there with their backs to the net and cleared the ball.
Timing being everything. Remember, we had just told you that Nick Geiken had just come into the game. There he is now. Long pass forward, right side. Man danced. And this is caught again. Lofts a high arcing shot that does go well wide right.
Nice run, good dribbling display by Cott.
These guys fancy themselves kind of a playmaking combination, huh? Geiken to Cott.
No doubt about it. They're displaying some great skills. Tried to chip the ball over the goaltender there that was coming out a little bit. Showing some nice touch, just went over the bar though.
And St. Charles with another rush. Cott. Clearing pass is intercepted.
Look at the control, Brian. Stone in the ball.
This is Kevin Brady, sophomore midfielder for St. Charles. Back to Shanahan. Winky and Malarski vie for it. Jed Malarski has for Evanston, but falls. Pete Bellin on the counter for St. Charles. Cucci making a move toward him. Bellin, lead pass Brady. Doesn't get through. Whitman picks him off the play. St. Charles will bring it in. Brady taking a look. The setup to Shanahan. Dances one man, stumbles, and now a whistle. Stand by as we take you to a break, and then the remainder of this game with St. Charles holding a 3-0 lead. Welcome back to Fremd High School in Palatine. Brian Davis, Bill Gardner. The St. Charles Saints trying to put the nail in their first ever state championship. This, their 9th tournament appearance. They were to the final game also, one time before to Evanston's 3. They lost to Collinsville in 1991. Lead pass to Cott. Bangs off a man. Now a long shot by Geiken goes wide to the left. Bill, take a look at it. All you need to know, well, hey, we've looked at the shots on goal, but this is the first time all year that Evanston has given up 3 goals.
That's an amazing stat. A great year for Evanston. So many shutouts, state record in shutouts this year. I don't think they've played the quality of team, though, of this St. Charles team that just keeps coming and coming, and have shown tonight that with the control that they've had and owning the midfield, taking away any opportunities that Evanston's had, a much better team tonight. And
another rush. Paul Keenan, the coach, now going fairly free with his substitutions. Steve Wildhusen is back in. David Cott comes out of the lineup. Well, hello.
It's a little warm.
I'll tell you
here.
what, this is probably, well, hey, the high school field version of a skybox. What do you think? We'll take it. Actually, you know, I almost feel guilty.
You do?
Almost.
Nice.
Goal kick. Channel. And for St. Charles, another rush down the right side. That Bob Akers. Akers with the assist on the first goal of this game in the late stages of the first half.
You know, Brian, any sporting event, if you don't really hear or see the referee, I think that's a great sign. And tonight we're getting a great job by Al Kleinitis, one of the best referees in the country, and he's refereed in international matches. So he's a good referee, and when, as I said, when you don't see the referee get involved too much, I think that's the best way to let the teams play.
That's a great point. That is a great point. STC chants the crowd. And they just seem to get that much stronger.
They're taking their time, which when you're in the lead, you always do that.
Let's go back, Guardsy, to the fact that Evanston has not been scored upon 3 times. They're not used to it. So how much more rattled does that make them?
Definitely. The pressure's definitely on them offensively, and they're playing against a good team also that's had quite a few shutouts and not allowed a lot of goals against. So they know their work's cut out for them. Very tough. And the first half, the couple of chances, and we talked, as I said, Randy DeRusse said he knew that they wouldn't get a lot of chances. He said they had to score whenever they did, and they didn't when they had a couple of chances in the first half, and they're behind the 8 ball, and they still haven't really put any pressure on this half.
Rob, near side, around Cucci. Cucci takes the fall. The crossing pass is intercepted and out of bounds off the foot of Jed Milarski, Evanston's junior midfielder. Now Lindbergh comes back up, sends it back to his buddy Drob. Cucci tries to intercept. The tackle fails, out of bounds. And St. Charles ball.
Brian, when you're talking about Evanston and their goal scoring, we talked about Cucci, how good he is. And he has 20 goals, but the next is Mason Roca with 11. So they really rely mainly on one guy to put the ball in the net. And it's pretty tough when you don't have the balance as St. Charles does throughout their lineup.
Now there's Murphy with a long feed for Akers, a little bit too far. Evanston ball for St. Charles. Lindgren back in place of one of his teammates, as Keenan again goes to the freer substitution pattern. And at this point, why not?
No doubt about it, Brian. Everybody should get a chance to play in a big match like this. Maybe never experience another match of this degree, and it's a fun game, and they have a good 3-0 lead, so throw everybody in.
Although our friend and spotter Jim Froslett of the U.S. Soccer Federation does remind us that the U.S. Nationals came back from a 3-love deficit against Saudi Arabia just last month.
With 13 minutes left?
4-3 in Washington, D.C. The answer to that question is no. But you know, it's one of those things that you just can't ever give up. And
no,
this
definitely not.
This team is too good and has done too well.
A lot of pride.
And Randy DeRusse has, pardon me, has, I knew I was going to do that at some point. Randy DeRusse has made much of the fact that this is very much a senior-led team. And when you look at his captains, the goalkeeper Adamji, his star scorer Cucci, also Mauk and Raka, a couple of guys whose names we've called several times tonight. Those are his 4 captains. And they are part of a group that has played together since grade school.
That's right.
When you get together in 5th and 6th grade, by the time you get to be a senior in high school, sure, you can take it away from the coach, and you ought to take it away from the coach.
Yeah, 4 great leaders, highly respected throughout the team. And obviously a tough way to end their career being seniors, but have to be very proud. Playing together like that, it's something when you can grow with a bunch of guys and go all the way to the state final.
Now a weak shot, I think that you might want to call it. Oh, and a happy group of fans. I would suspect they're from St. Charles as they're this late in the game. 11.5 minutes left. St. Charles 3, Evanston nothing. Evanston will get the ball out of bounds. Jeff Ward is back in for the Wildcats. But almost as quickly out he goes, and in comes Felipe Martinez. Part of DeRusse's future. Junior forward.
When we talked to Randy too, DeRusse, he had said we had asked him where they were ranked pretty much through the year, and he said, he didn't want them to be ranked. He wanted these guys to earn everything they got, and they have eventually had a great year and got all the way up to 2nd. But he told us, and he exemplified it, he did not want them to be given anything. They wanted to work and earn that, and they really have. They've had a great year.
Sophomore defender Jeff Linsky in the St. Charles lineup, replacing Jason Franco. Here's Brian Cucci for a long shot. If this were a football game, it would have been 3.
Would have tied it. Excellent left foot, though, some great skill. There's no doubt Brian Cucci's one of the best players. Moving left to right, using both feet, and then getting a left little high and through the uprights, but good effort.
Would you believe
Yes.
that Paul Keenan, the coach from St. Charles, considers this maybe the least talented of the 5 that he has had, the 5 teams that he has had at St. Charles?
I couldn't believe when he said that, but he definitely did say that. He said last year's team, when they lost in the quarterfinals, he thought they were very talented and was very disappointed. But he said the guys that came back this year have kept that in their hearts and their minds, and that's why this year they wanted to build upon that loss in the quarterfinals and come back with a vengeance, and they certainly have.
Well, and again, his substitutions now, this gives the young guys not only a taste, not only a chance to say that I was on the field when we won the whole darn thing, but it also gives them a little bit of experience.
Definitely. Throw him in.
Cucci. Lead for Rocca, shot, and a save.
Did Lindgren get a foot on that to slow it down, control it into the goaltender? Looked like he did. Excellent play defensively.
That thing floated ever so softly. Just about kissed the arms of David Collar, the St. Charles goalkeeper.
Nice touch.
Now ahead. This is Wilhusen. On the counter, Evanston. Brady marking Cucci, and St. Charles takes control at midfield, and now Jeff Ward knocks Grob down. It'll be a direct kick for the Saints. We're going to have a change in goalkeeper for St. Charles momentarily. Dave Ligler will be coming into the lineup. Unlike Adamji for Evanston, who has played every one of the Wildcats games, Ligler and David Collar have, well, not split time evenly. Collar has played 20 games and allowed 5 goals. Ligler has played 13 games and only given up 3 goals, so his GA bill is actually a shade better. But I mean, you know, for 0.02 of a point, 0.23 to 0.25, that tells you they're good, and it tells you they're getting great help up front.
Well, Paul Keenan stressed that they didn't really have a #1 goalie. They didn't care who was in the net, and they went with whoever was hot at the time. 2 great goalies. It's very nice to have 2 goalies that you can rely on and count on.
Frank Gidcombe for Evanston, taken off the ball and in the scramble for it. Evanston retains possession on the pass in. And now Ward danced off the ball by Drob. Ward regains to Van Bern Allen, from whom we have not heard much this second half, which is not an indictment of him. Understand, be very clear about this. This is testimony to what St. Charles is doing here.
No doubt about it, Brian. Got to have some control to get the ball.
Now look at this, a steal. Oof. And he just misses Mike Murphy. That was a wild Andy Malk from Evanston trying to get the ball back to his goalkeeper, Adamji. Murphy just broke right in, and Adamji once again has trouble handling the ball, Billy.
He has had trouble tonight. I don't know if it's cold weather, but the speed of Murphy definitely had him looking and seeing him coming at him. I think he took his eye off the ball. Sometimes when you do that, you lose sight of it and it goes through your legs as it did. Murphy had a great chance, just couldn't catch up with it.
And once again, here come the Saints. Akers dances Jermaine James. James now gets some help. That's Malk. Back to midfield and Cucci, who is well guarded. David Walter, senior defender, on field now for St. Charles. Cucci down the left side. Taken by the Saints. Now inside 6 minutes for the second half.
Look at the substitution here. 4 guys coming in. Everybody getting a chance.
P.J. Winterich, Matt Woodrow, the new goaltender. As we mentioned, Dave Ligler comes into the game.
Also came into the lineup for the Saints.
And this is homage. This is, you know,
Definitely.
from Keenan to his guys, the guys who most of the time never did see a whole lot of game action. But they get the shot.
Well, the one thing, Brian, you get a taste of winning, and it grows on you, and it'll be great for next year having these guys get in and get a taste of playing a big match.
And for some of the guys like number 8, you'll see Andrew Lassa. Lassie. Andrew Lassie. Senior defender, getting his last taste. But what a taste.
Not bad. That little gold medallion.
4 minutes remaining.
Push from behind, little trip. Free kick.
It's worth pointing out, too, that Evanston, as soundly as they have been beaten here tonight, have really shown great sportsmanship.
It really has been a clean game.
And now the kick. As Evanston tries to break the shutout, having out-fouled 15-12. Now into the box, the shot and the save by Ligler.
First big test. Nice to feel the wall.
It's not like hockey, though, Guardsy. You can't just go out and hit somebody to get yourself into the game.
Well, you get in a little bit of trouble doing that.
Now what's left essentially for Evanston is to try to break the shutout, which would be the 18th of the season for the Saints. Evanston having set a state record and extended it this morning to 22.
I was waiting for you to say that. I didn't want to say that.
Oh, that's
like
right. That old, yeah, you're right. Did that last year to Mike Vernon and the Red Wings. Mentioned the word, and 10 seconds later, Dennis Savard scored his first goal. And now some action in front as 2 players collide.
Goal kick for the Wildcats.
As Evanston tried to control the ball. And now, as Paul Keenan has done, for St. Charles, Randy DeRoos does for Evanston. Brendan Noon gets his very first taste of game action of the season for Evanston in goal. Minute 50 remaining. And now the fans from St. Charles, STC. St. Charles, 3rd in the tournament in 1984 and 1990. 2nd in 1991. Defeated Naperville North in a quarterfinal last night, 3-0. Scored twice in the first half this morning to eliminate the defending champion from Palatine. As far as the shutouts on the other end, Randy DeRoos told us this morning, hey, we're only as good as our next game. That after the 1-0 whitewashing of Quincy, and now things have turned in a big way in the championship game. This will only be, Bill, what, the 3rd time that a team has gone pillar to post without losing a game?
Yes, I think that's correct.
And we were guaranteed of it anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Now here's a rush for the net as Kevin Brady tried to get a taste.
Two teams that haven't lost.
20 seconds remaining now. St. Charles fans on their feet. Long shot and the save by Noon. Wilhusen refused to take the pressure off.
Great shot.
5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's it. And St. Charles, long regarded as one of the premier soccer programs in the state of Illinois, has for the first time won the big dance.
Brian, they definitely deserve it. Played a great game from the start, from the get-go, controlled the ball, controlled the midfield, took away any game plan that Evanston had, and really was lopsided.
A 3-0 victory over the Evanston Wildcats. And for the Saints coach Paul Keenan, the second time the charm in his first year here in 1991. We mentioned before that the Saints lost to Collinsville. So 2 trips to the final game in 5 years, not a bad mark for Paul Keenan. And for Randy DeRoos and the Evanston Wildcats, hey, encouragement in a big way that they continue to build on something that also puts Evanston on the top shelf as far as programs around the state.
No doubt about it. 2 great teams all year long. St. Charles just has a great deep bench, players with a lot of skill, and the fact that they lost some excellent seniors last year and filled that void this year and came out with #1 and winning the state championship also. It's a feather in Paul Keenan's hat, no doubt about it. Great game, though.
As in hockey, the congratulations line as the Wildcats of Evanston and Saints of St. Charles exchange salutations. And there it is. That's what's going into the trophy case at St. Charles High School come Monday. And we'll be back momentarily. Saints beat the Kits 3-0. More coming up on Sports Channel. Brian Davis and Bill Gardner back at Fremd High School in Palatine, where St. Charles has won its first ever IHSA soccer title with a 3-0 victory over the Wildcats of Evanston High School. And what you're seeing is the championship medallion presentation before the big trophy goes over for possession by the Saints. And with every individual award, a wild cheer from the crowd here at Fremd High School. As far as the way this one went down, 3-0 Saints on the scoreboard. Shots on goal, 21-6 in favor of St. Charles. And they really poured it on in the second half, out shooting the Wildcats 13-4. Corner kicks 4-1 in St. Charles' favor. Evanston with a pair more fouls, 15-13. St. Charles broke in one time offside, and there is your statistical summary. As far as the way this one went, a fairly even beginning to the game, but then the Saints started to break it open and hit pay dirt late in the first half. Derek Winke from Bob Akers at 35-42, and just a minute, 8 seconds later, Ryan Lindgren from Steve Wilhusen, a dandy first-time pass, and that broke it open for St. Charles. And then in the second half, David Cott, a substitute forward, came in, and off the assist from another reserve, Nick Geiken, made it 3-0 St. Charles. That at the 57:08 mark, and that is your scoring summary. We referred to the way that this game flowed, and St. Charles outshot Evanston 8-2 in the first half, and then 13-4 in the second half. For the Saints, mentioned that this is their first ever state title in their 9th tournament appearance. For the Evanston Wildcats, 7 times they have been into the tournament, and now 4 times the Wildcats have come up as the runner-up. And now the trophy being passed around hand to hand, and everybody wants a piece of it. Everybody wants to touch that baby and feel it. And can you have any doubts as to how good this must feel? And let's go downstairs. My colleague Bill Gardner with the victorious coach Paul Keenan. Guardsy.
Thanks, Brian. I'm here with Paul Keenan. An unbelievable, great game. How does it feel, first of all, to win the state championship?
That's great, Billy. It was a year that we weren't supposed to do so well, and we came a long way, and it's a culmination of a lot of things, a lot of hard work by a lot of kids, and you know, just want to thank all the kids and all our fans for supporting us. But it's a great feel for the kids. I mean, they did all the hard work, you know.
Paul, when we talked earlier in the day, you said about breaking down the midfield and owning it. You did that tremendously today. You got to be pleased with that effort.
Well, you know, Evanston's a strong team, like, and they came in here with all these goals, this goals against record type of thing, like, and we thought, well, we've got quality and we've got depth off the bench, we've got depth in goal, you know, so we just figured, hey, just go out and play our game and we'll be okay, like, so I just couldn't see any way, the kids couldn't see any way we were going to lose this game, so, you know, we respect Evanston, they've had a great year and all credit to them, but we think we're the best, we're number one, and we finally say we are the best, we won it all, so it's really, I'm really pleased for the kids and everybody that's supported us.
How good is it for you to get everybody into the game, even looking down the road? You got everybody a little bit of a taste of a state championship game.
It's really great. I mean, last year that just wasn't possible, and it's just all these kids have contributed. The kids know their roles off the bench, or they know their roles when they start. So it's great for everybody to get their feet wet and get in there, like, and just everybody shares in this year. So I'm thrilled to pieces for everybody who support us, and you know, the staff and the administration and everything. So I'm pleased as punch. You know, it's really terrific for the kids.
Paul Keenan, great game, unbelievable, congratulations, and good luck next year. Go have fun tonight.
Thanks a lot, Paul. Thank you.
Let's go back up to Brian Davis.
Billy, when you take a look at the way the setup goes for St. Charles, by the way, I wonder what club scarf Paul Keenan is wearing from whatever part of Europe that thing came from. But when you look at the setup for the future for St. Charles, and we've seen these guys now team picture time, and everybody's getting a chance to fondle that trophy and to kiss it as well. Exhibit A, Your Honor. Matt Wasinger laying lips on. Matt Wasinger again. This is a guy, a lot of people put a lot of attention on Ryan Lindgren, the all-state midfielder, but Wasinger also, as the sweeper on this team, is a guy who worked hard enough and gained enough recognition to win Sun-Times All-Area honors, and also he was named the second-team All-Stater by the Chicago Tribune. But let's go back to the kids, the foundation. We talked before during the broadcast about Derek Shanahan, sophomore midfielder, 15 goals this year. Mike Murphy, the striker and a half in Paul Keenan's estimation, with a dozen goals this year. And he is a guy who came up big tonight in terms of putting some good pressure on the Evanston goal. Mike Murphy is a sophomore. Jason Franco, sophomore defender. He will be back. Phil Cronbuhl, we called his name quite a bit tonight. Cronbuhl, very active with the ball in the midfield. One of the playmakers we talked about as far as being the difference in this soccer game. Cronbuhl is a junior. So you look at that foundation and you look at that setup, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is something to which the St. Charles Saints can look forward. At this time, Sports Channel would like to thank H. David Fry and Marty Hickman of the Illinois High School Association for making this championship event broadcast possible. We would also like to thank Jack Drollinger of Fremd High School for his cooperation in coordinating this event. Our broadcast was produced and directed by Big Mo Maurice Wallace, graphics coordinator Matt Luke. Remote facilities were provided by Trio Video. Coordinating producer David A. Turner. Production manager Sheila Brown. And our vice president of programming at Sports Channel is Mike Bogat. Once again, the final score, 3-0. St. Charles wins the prize, defeating the Wild Kids of Evanston. For Bill Gardner, I'm Brian Davis. The proceeding has been an exclusive presentation of Sports Channel.